All right, so here we'll be looking at the laboratory preparation of ethene. All right, how is ethene prepared in the laboratory? So first of all, this is ethene. The chemical formula for ethene is C2H4. All right, structurally, ethene looks like this. It has a double bond between the two carbons, and you have your hydrogens. All right, attached in this fashion. So this is ethene. This is the structural formula for ethene, and this is the molecular formula for ethene. All right, so ethene is prepared by heating ethanol with excess concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid. That's how ethene is produced. All right, so you heat ethanol with excess concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid. All right, so when you heat ethanol, this is ethanol, right? C2H5OH. This is ethanol. When you heat this ethanol in the presence of excess concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid, ethene will be formed and water will also be formed. All right. So this reaction is referred to as a dehydration reaction. It is referred to as a dehydration reaction. Why is it called a dehydration reaction? It is a dehydration reaction because water is removed from what? From the ethanol. So when you remove water, one molecule of water from this ethanol, ethene will be formed. And what is responsible for that dehydration? It is the concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid. All right. So concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid in this reaction acts as a dehydrating agent. It is what removes water from the ethanol coupled with the heat. All right. So again, ethene is prepared by heating ethanol with excess concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid. So I can ask you, how is ethene produced in the laboratory? You simply tell me that ethene is prepared by heating ethanol with excess concentrated what? Tetraoxosulphate 6 acid. And you should know that the tetraoxosulphate 6 acid is acting as what? A dehydrating agent. And what that means is that it removes water from the ethanol to form what? Ethene. And this is the water that is removed. All right. So if we look at this reaction more in details, you will discover that when ethanol reacts with tetraoxosulphate 6 acid, ethyl hydrogen tetraoxosulphate 6 and water is formed. All right. When ethanol reacts with tetraoxosulphate 6 acid, ethyl hydrogen tetraoxosulphate 6 and water is formed. So this ethyl hydrogen tetraoxosulphate 6, when it is heated, all right, when it is heated, ethene will be formed and tetraoxosulphate 6 acid will be formed. All right. So you will discover that the tetraoxosulphate 6 acid does not really change in the reaction. You still have tetraoxosulphate 6 acid at the end. All right. So it's very important that you should know this, that when ethanol reacts with excess concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid, ethene will be formed and water will be formed. All right. So this reaction, like I said, is referred to as a dehydration reaction. All right. So this is a laboratory setup for the preparation of ethene. So this is a mixture of concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid and ethanol. So when you heat this mixture of concentrated tetraoxosulphate 6 acid and ethanol, all right, ethene will be formed. All right. So this part of the setup that contains the sodium hydroxide, this is concentrated sodium hydroxide solution. This solution is to remove impurities from the ethene that is formed. Remove impurities like carbon 4 oxide, all right? Remove impurities like sulfur 6 oxide, all right? So all these may be formed. So this solution here of caustic soda will help to remove those impurities from the ethene, and the ethene will be deposited here. All right, it will be collected over water and deposited here. All right, so this is just all you need to know about the laboratory preparation of ethene.